Cameroon's forests are considered parts of the Congo Basin, the largest group of trees in Africa. The country boasts almost 19 million hectares of dense forest. It also has almost 30 million hectares of degraded humid forest. The African Forest Forum has been very active in this nation, tackling degradation and championing gender inclusion in the forest sector. They have done so by providing information and training to a wide variety of activists. Their study on the private forestry sector in Cameroon promoted promising public-private partnership models for sustainable livelihoods development there. AFF investigated the challenges of managed transboundary forest landscapes of West and Central Africa in a study that spanned Niger, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. And they have held workshops in Douala and Yaoundé that have had an effect on policymaking and prepared some of Cameroon's brightest minds for negotiations on the world stage. Prudence Galega grew up in these forests. She pursued a legal career which led her on a path to protect forests through her work, first as a lawyer, then as a magistrate. Her judgments have often had a bearing on property ownership, and in many cases, they have involved claims by women, as here, livelihoods are often tied to the trees. As Prudence's career advanced, she has been able to influence policy making on a national level and also on the global stage.
My role in policy making cuts across diverse scales. Policy issues at community level, because I'm a community woman, I'm a traditional woman leader in my community. Policy making at national level, mostly by virtue of my functions as a magistrate, and policy making, most importantly, at global levels, by virtue of my functions as a national focal point for the Convention on Biological Diversity and the coordinator of the African group of negotiators within that process.
African Forest Forum has provided her with strategic advice and involved her in facilitating training of forestry stakeholders on how to negotiate in multilateral international fora.
I remember the series of trainings in Lusaka in the years 2016 and 2017, when I got to know AFF, co-leading these training sessions, working on the training modules that were being developed by African Forest Forum to ensure these were adapted to the context of what the negotiators required, and key policymakers on forest at country levels. But what was also unique in those trainings was the fact that the focus was on very current and emerging issues for which you needed to build capacity.
Cameroon has a national action plan for biodiversity. Its first objective is increasing awareness on the value of biodiversity to ensure a change in human behavior and attitudes to stop its loss. While Prudence works to change attitudes at home, she is also keenly aware that the vital issue of climate change needs to be tackled on a global level.
The issues of focus at global level, where I have had significant influence in negotiations, have related mostly to the conservation of forest. The extent to which conservation can be seen and can provide benefits for human well-being. To what extent we can sustainably use forest to ensure that the benefits that we generate from it contribute to human well-being, and ensure that there is sustainability in the way we use it to be able to preserve it. Because we met it, we can preserve it for future generations.
While Prudence has been working at the top of the pyramid as an activist, youth like Alphonse Otsamzok are starting at the grassroots. But the African Forest Forum is right there providing information and training that opens new doors. Alphonse's first AFF workshop was in Douala.
African Forest Forum sur la rédaction des projets bancables et la mobilisation des financements multilatéraux. C'était vraiment nous donner la clé. C'était vraiment nous donner les outils dont on avait besoin pour débloquer les financements.
Alphonse took the ideas to the African Forest Landscape Restoration Initiative, AFRI 100, with one tree planted in Terramach. And the AFRI 100 came through with money for Alphonse's Blessed Action for Africa NGO, which he has put to good use.
Pour les produits de casse-croûte, lorsqu'ils ont une petite activité de tree planting, et parfois on organise des séances d'éducation au développement durable dans ces écoles-là, où on enseigne aux enfants la nécessité de protéger l'environnement.
Recently, AFF flew Alphonse to Nairobi to participate in a continental workshop. Meeting with delegates from across Africa not only provided him with more knowledge, but also helped him create a network of support as he tackles bigger initiatives.
Ce nouveau workshop qui se passe au Kenya et tout est une autre opportunité de renforcement des capacités pour moi pour acquérir des nouvelles connaissances. Je suis un amoureux de la connaissance. En matière d'agroforesterie, il faut apprendre toujours, puisque les changements climatiques sont les nouveaux paradigmes des relations internationales. Il faut toujours se mettre à jour, comprendre les grands défis définis au niveau du Haut Sommet stratégique des Nations Unies, au niveau de l'Union africaine, au niveau de la CEMAC et au niveau du Cameroun. Lorsque je comprends et je maîtrise très bien toutes les pièces du puzzle, ça permet de très bien les rassembler pour pouvoir atteindre les objectifs.
Nairobi is where AFF Senior Program Officer Marie-Louise Avana Tienchu can be found. In Cameroon, she has been the director of the Regional Center for Specialized Studies in Agriculture, as well as the director of Studies and Lecturers Affairs at the University of Dishang. She joined the African Forest Forum just a few months after it was founded in 2007. And Marie-Louise has had a huge effect on policy making back home.
We move, for example, from a ministry of environment and forest to have a specific ministry for environment to focus mainly on environmental protection and sustainable development, and have another ministry to conserve forest and wildlife. That shows really the political commitment to really make sure that they align. And we also have a specific policy on forestry, focusing on how to manage our wealth in terms of forestry. We have more than 70% of our land covered by forests. This is what he was showing there, 22,000 million acres of forest. We also try to have a Ministry of Environment with a policy in terms of environmental protection to make sure that not only forestry but other natural resources and other environmental issues will be taken care of.
She is constantly pushing the government to consult with community stakeholders as they make policy.
And what are the alternatives given to them if we want to protect an area to conserve natural resources, to conserve forests? And we know we have surrounding population living from these resources. What are the alternative livelihoods we have given to them to make sure that, to make them part of the process? Because the only way to make sure that they can contribute, the policy will be implemented, is to make them part of the process.
It is no accident that AFF is led by women like Marie-Louise and Cecile Jabet, also from Cameroon. women have a central role in forest communities in their society. Cecile has been part of the African Forest Forum for 13 years. She fondly remembers meeting another strong woman who was a champion of the trees.
But I have met a lady here, an icon, Wangari Maathai also. I met her personally, and I think she really inspired me, and I'm trying to inspire many of women also, because that lady has really, I don't know how to say, but she's changed my way of seeing things, of doing things, and even my professional way of working. My love to forestry and all this, she really reinforced it very well, and as she left me a mission to bring more African women into forestry, so I'm trying to continue to do that as much as I can.
One woman who did follow Cecile at the African Forest Forum is Rose Pelagio Masso. In Cameroon, she works with the African Women's Network for the Community Management of Forests.
AFF nous a formés dans la gestion durable de la forêt, dont la foresterie. J'ai reçu un enseignement sur la finance climatique et au niveau des activités génératrices de revenus. Et je pense que c'est avec ce renforcement des capacités qu'aujourd'hui, moi, j'accompagne d'autres communautés et d'autres personnes. J'accompagne les groupes de femmes dans la création des ressources à travers des champs agricoles, les champs agroforestiers et pas mal de choses. AFF nous a également renforcé sur les accords multilatéraux sur l'environnement. Donc, j'ai vraiment bénéficié de beaucoup de formations de la part de AFF.
As a leader within the African Forest Forum, Cecile has pushed the organization to focus on the restoration of degraded areas and ecosystems. She has also emphasized supporting women-developed forestry-based enterprises to improve their economic and social conditions. Cecile has a very optimistic view of Cameroon and all of Africa's forest future.
I think that there is a change towards progress, because almost all of the African countries, almost maybe 80%, have committed into restoring millions of hectares of degraded areas in their countries. For example, Cameroon has committed to restore 12 million hectares by 2030, I think. Yes. It means that there is a lot to do in planting trees, in restoration, But the problem is that they can get committed, but they don't mobilize resources that need to be mobilized to do that. And we will see a great opportunity to get involved into that, to support government policies in that, and to help them achieve their commitment.
The work of AFF is made possible by the kind financial support from the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, SIDA, and the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, SDC, as well as other technical partners. AFF has been investing in women and youth in Cameroon with great effect. The nation can be a beacon of hope for others that share the Congo Basin forest. With so many trees being planted, so many livelihoods being created, the momentum set in motion by Prudence, Alphonse, Mary-Louise, Rose and Cecile bodes well for Cameroon and indeed Africa's natural resources moving forward.